Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out on this beautiful night to listen to our rock and roll, baby. I would like to say that when I started doing the program this week, I went, oh, good, I'll just tap over last year's program, no big deal, forgetting that Nancy Hayes doesn't play with us anymore. Nancy Hayes has been replaced by Ellen Loving, which we're so glad to have Ellen playing with us. But Nancy still gets her name in the program. Let's begin tonight with a word of prayer. This prayer that I'm going to read is stenciled on the wall in the lobby of the music suite. It's from the Oxford Choir in England. Bless, O Lord, us thy servants who minister in thy temple. Grant that what we sing with our lips, we may believe in our hearts, and what we believe in our hearts, we may show forth in our lives. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Let's stand and join in singing our opening hymn, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee, number 89. Be seated. We're going to begin tonight with the piece called Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. Sometimes it's referred to as Time of Your Life, Good Riddance. We are so fortunate, though, to have in our church so much talent. It's incredible. We got Greg Shivers on classical guitar, Sarah Graham and Pam Wolf on flute, Philip Reisman on violin. Anybody else? And Darren Stinney on drums. Hi, Darren. Our first piece, like I said, is called Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. It's a song written by the American rock band Green Day, released in December 1997. Billy Joe Armstrong wrote Good Riddance, Time of Your Life in 1993 about his girlfriend named Amanda, who moved to Ecuador, with him naming the song Good Riddance. To show his anger towards her, referring to their relationship, he sang, I hope you had the time of your life. Although, a little better maybe, although different from the band's usual sound, it is one of their most popular songs. It has also become a staple of their concerts and is usually played as the final song. It was a chart topper the world over, making it the band's most commercially successful single to date. And also I read that when Billy Joe Armstrong wanted to put this on one of their albums, the other groups vetoed him because it was so unlike anything they'd ever done. But when it became a number one hit, they thought differently. Hope you enjoy it. I Will Survive is a song by American singer Gloria Gaynor, released in October 1978. What is it, 45 years old this year? A top-selling song, it is a popular disco anthem as well as being certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America. The song's lyrics describe the narrator's discovery of personal strength following an initially devastating breakup. It became her signature song. According to Dino Fakaris, the principal writer of the song, I Will Survive has its genesis in his experience getting fired by Motown Records in the mid-'70s after 7 years working there as a staff writer. Jobless, he turned on the TV in his room and the theme song he had written for the film Generation happened to be playing. He looked at it as a good omen and jumped up and down on the bed saying, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be a songwriter. I will survive. Fakaris teamed up with his collaborator, Freddie Perrin, another former member of the Motown production team, to write the song. However, the song remained unrecorded for 2 years as no suitable singer was available. It was eventually recorded by Gloria Gaynor, who instantly recognized the lyrics as a hit. Incidentally, Gaynor recorded the vocals wearing a back brace, having just had a surgery due to a fall at a concert. The injury and a recent bereavement made Gaynor identify with the sentiment of I Will Survive. That's why I was able to sing the song with so much conviction, she once said. The American rock band Cake covered I Will Survive in a soft rock style for their second album, Fashion Nugget. The music video Cake's version features lead singer McCrae as a city parking enforcement officer driving around in a Cushman three-wheeled scooter as he leaves tickets on various cars. I don't see what that has to do with I Will Survive, but whatever. Their version peaked at number 28 on the U.S. Billboard Modern Rock Tracks chart in March 1997. Dana Darzan from Cashbox felt that the band is at its bizarre best on the thoroughly and charmingly mangled version of the Gloria Gaynor disco classic. Philip Reisman.
lay down and die. Oh no, not I. I will survive. Yeah, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll be alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive. Yeah, yeah. All the strength I had just not to fall apart. I'm trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken heart. And I spent so many nights just feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high and you see me with somebody new. I'm not that stupid, the person's still in love with you. And so you thought I'd just drop by and you expect me to be free. But now I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. Oh, now go walk out the door. Just turn around now. You're not welcome anymore. But weren't you the one who tried to break me with desire? Did you think I'd come along? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I. I will survive. Yeah, as long as I know I'll be alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I want you to look at the title of the next piece. We're going to hear from Sarah Graham on piccolo. It says Death Whistle, Movement 1, Ear Knife. Now, usually you'll see something like Movement 1, Allegro, or Allegretto, or something like that. But no, this one's Ear Knife. Death Whistle by Nicole Merang received honorable mention for the National Flute Association's 2019 newly published music competition for piccolo category. Death Whistle was commissioned by Dr. Elizabeth Robinson and recorded on her debut album, Aviary. The piccolo is notorious in the orchestra for its incredibly high pitches and gets a bad rap for intonation issues. That's playing in tune. It takes a brave soul to consider playing the piccolo and a person of questionable character to love it. The first movement, Ear Knife, spotlights the piccolo's ability to cut through its razor-sharp high notes. The second movement, ballistophobia, is the fear of being shot. Every piccoloist knows the joke, how do you tune two piccolos? You shoot one. The final movement, hashtag Piccolo by God, which is the hashtag used on Twitter by the composer and commissioner when discussing the woes of piccolo playing and composing. Let's hope everyone makes it out alive after this performance. Rock on, Sarah. Yesterday is a song by the English rock band The Beatles, written by Paul McCartney and credited to Lennon McCartney. It was first released on the album Help in 1965. It's a melancholy ballad about the breakup of a relationship. The singer nostalgically laments for yesterday when he and his love were together, before she left because of something he said. McCartney is the only member of the Beatles to appear on the track. The final recording was so different from other works by the Beatles that the band members vetoed the release of the song as a single in the United Kingdom, although other artists were quick to record versions of it for a single release. The Beatles recording was issued as a single there in 1976 and peaked at number 8. In 1997, the song was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Broadcast Music Incorporated asserts that it was performed over 7 million times in the 20th century. If You Leave Me Now is a song by the American rock group Chicago from their album Chicago 10. It was written and sung by bass player Peter Cetera and released as a single on July 30th, 1976. According to writer Zachary Hull of Pop Matters, the song was so pervasive on radio upon its release that reportedly those tuning in New York City could hear the song playing on 4 different stations, each with varying formats simultaneously. It has been certified gold and platinum by the Recording Institute Association. Yeah. Lots of good things. A lot of us are old people, so we can't see without lights. You know, a couple of things have been said over the 22 years I've been here at the church directing the bells. They say a lot of interesting things. For instance, that girl had my bell. Ethel Carpenter said that in 2002. It goes by so fast, nobody will know it's missing. Again, Ethel in 2002. Just don't look at me and I'll be fine. Vonda Mercora in 2002. Couldn't have been me, I was lost. Gloria James, 2005. While attempting to play Georgia on My Mind, it was said, maybe we could play it better if we were blind. Gloria James, 2008. I like hooking. Nancy Hayes, 2009. Hooking is a bell technique, never mind, forget. The Age of Aquarius, or Let the Sun Shine In, is a medley of two songs written for the 1967 musical Hair by James Rado and Jerome Roney. Released as a single by American R&B group The Fifth Dimension. The recording can be traced to an incident in which Fifth Dimension lead singer Billy Davis Jr., remember him, and his wife Marilyn McCoo? He left his wallet in a New York City cab. The man who found the wallet was involved in the production of Hair and invited the group to see the show. Their producer said, after they'd seen it, I received a phone call in which they were all talking over one another saying, we've got to cut this song Aquarius, it's the best thing ever. Their producer was skeptical. This isn't a complete song, it's an introduction, he said. But after seeing the show on stage, got the idea to create a medley with another musical moment from the show, a few bars from the song The Flesh Failures, I'm not familiar with it, that consist of the repeated words, let the sun shine in. Although the two song fragments are in different keys and tempos, Howe resolved to jam them together like two trains, and thus we have Aquarius, Let the Sun Shine In. Joe Satriani is the world's most commercially successful solo guitar performer with 6 gold and platinum discs to his credit and sells in excess of 10 million copies. Since September 18, 1970, the day his idol Jimi Hendrix passed away, Satriani has dedicated himself to the artistry of the instrument. I couldn't find any information on the song Midnight, but here's what Joe Satriani says about his music. How do I want my closest fan to feel when they hear this music? That's what you're trying to communicate, and everything else is out of your control anyway. You can't decide what people are going to like or not like, so you just follow your heart. We always think of Simon and Garfunkel when they hear the phrase Scarborough Fair, but actually it's a traditional English ballad. The song lists a number of impossible tasks given to a former lover who lives in Scarborough, North Yorkshire. It appears in traditional tunes by Frank Kidson, published in 1891. The famous melody was collected from Mark Anderson, a retired lead miner from Middleton in Teesdale, County Durham, England, by Ewan MacColl in 1947. This version was recorded by a number of musicians in the 20th century, including the version by the 1960s folk rock duo Simon and Garfunkel. I'm not familiar with this next song at all, but maybe once I hear Philip play it, I'll recognize it. The Kids Aren't All Right is a song by The Offspring. It is the fifth track from the band's fifth studio album, Americana, and was released as a third single. It became another top 10 hit on the U.S. Modern Rock Tracks chart. The song lyrics tell the stories of several people from a town and the problems they faced growing up: unplanned pregnancy, unemployment, drug addiction, and suicide. Dexter Holland wrote the song after visiting his hometown, Garden Grove, California, and discovering many of his old acquaintances had found problems in life. In his words, "The neighborhood looks like Happy Days, but it's really Twin Peaks." While guitarist Noodles said that the song pointed out the subversion of the idea that you grow up hoping you and your friends have a brighter future. It's a happy song. Africa is a song by American rock band Toto, the 10th and final track on their fourth studio album, Toto 4. It was released as a single in the U.S. through Columbia Records in October 1982. Since its release, it has been certified 8 times platinum. After the bell ringers went through their first rehearsal on Africa, I told them it sounded more like Pangea than Africa, but we're going to get there. The initial idea and lyrics for the song came from David Paich. Paich was playing around with a new keyboard, the CS-80, and found the brassy sound that became the opening riff. He completed the melody and lyrics for the chorus in about 10 minutes. Much to Paich's surprise, I sang the chorus out as you hear it. It was like God channeling it. I thought, I'm talented, but I'm not that talented. Something just happened here. Paich reckons that he refined the lyrics for 6 months before showing the song to the rest of the band. In 2015, Paich explained that the song is about a man's love of a continent, Africa, rather than just a personal romance. He based the lyrics on a late-night documentary with depictions of African plight and suffering. The viewing experience made a lasting impact on Paich. It both moved and appalled me, and the pictures just wouldn't leave my head. I tried to imagine how I'd feel about it if I was there and what I'd do. Some additional lyrics relate to a person flying in to meet a lonely missionary, as Paich described in 2018. As a child, Paich attended a Catholic school. Several of his teachers had done missionary work in Africa. Their missionary work became the inspiration behind the line, I bless the rains down in Africa. Paich, who at the time had never set foot in Africa, based the song's landscape descriptions from an article in National Geographic. See? The story of how Bohemian Rhapsody came to be is a long and winding story, which I won't go all into. But first conceived by Freddie Mercury in the late 60s, it evolved into a 6-minute piece with an intro, a ballad, an operatic passage, a hard rock part, and a reflective coda. It was released in October of 1975. Mercury referred to Bohemian Rhapsody as a mock opera that resulted from the combination of 3 songs he had written. Although critical reaction was initially mixed, retrospective reviews have acclaimed Bohemian Rhapsody as one of the greatest songs of all time. It is ironic that the group was told many times by record producers in the US and the UK that the song would never get airplay due to its length. Never mind that nobody understood it. Even Mercury once described the lyrics as random, rhyming nonsense. However, his bandmates believe the lyrics are veiled references to Mercury's personal traumas. Since Freddie Mercury died in 1991, we'll never know the truth behind the lyrics. Thank you all for coming. We have such incredible talent in this church. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Pam, Sarah, Philip, Darren. Please join us for some ice cream in the Family Center. It's free. Let's go eat.